What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Post-Gazette YouTube page. Colin Beazley here from Pittsburgh. As I give you a series preview of the Pirates' upcoming series in Detroit against the Tigers. Noah Hiles will be there to cover the three-game series as the Pirates take on what is objectively, to this point in the season, the best team in baseball. I don't think many people were expecting to say that about the Tigers, but they are 46-27. They have a .630 winning percentage, and they've been really, really good. I'll get into a fuller scout in a second, but before I do that, just wanted to give a quick shout out to a quick plug of the Post-Gazette. You can read all of our work at post-gazette.com, all of our coverage of the Pirates, of the Steelers, of every Pittsburgh sports team, as well as everything that happens in Pittsburgh outside of sports. We cover government, we cover politics, we cover food and culture. We cover a little bit of everything. So make sure you get yourself a Post-Gazette digital subscription, or even in print. We print twice a week on Thursdays and Sundays. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We'll give you content throughout the entire 162-game series with season previews, with prospects reports, with series recaps, and with everything that you need as the Pirates continue this season. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the Detroit Tigers. As I mentioned before, they're 46-27. That is the best record in baseball. That is the best winning percentage in baseball. They're currently 9 up in the American League Central, ahead of the Cleveland Guardians, I believe. In their last 10, they are 5-5. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Reds, but they're still a very, very good baseball team. Some statistics. There's nothing that the Tigers are necessarily elite in, but they're also really, really good at pretty much everything. And runs this season, they've scored 351 runs. That's the 6th best mark in baseball. They're 11th in batting average with a .251. They are 9 in OPS with a .733 team-wide OPS, 8th in slugging, .412. They strike out a fair amount, 24th in the strikeout percentage with the 23.2% strikeout percentage, and they're 10th in homers with 85 homers this year. However, their pitching, as you may know, is what gets the headlines, grabs the attention. They've got the 4th best ERA in baseball with a .340 ERA. They're 5th in WHIP with a 1.19 WHIP. 11th in strikeouts. 23% of their outs are recorded by strikeouts. They're 6th in walks. They don't walk a lot of guys. 7.7% is the walk percentage. They're 8th in batting average and balls in play with a .278. Their starting pitching is the true strength of this team. They've got a 3.15 starting pitcher ERA, and their bullpen is the 14th best bullpen in baseball with a 3.76 bullpen ERA. Let's get into that starting pitching, because I feel like that's what needs to be unpacked, the Detroit Tigers. And the Pirates will be getting their 2 top arms. And in this series, the pitching is going to be fun to watch. As you probably know, as a Pirates fan, in all likelihood, the Pirates have had the best starting pitching ERA since May 1st. They've had some really, really good starting pitching. And that's what to watch for in this series. The starting pitching on a whole is quality, but you also get to see the guys who, in my opinion, are the 2 best starting pitchers in baseball, in Tarik Skubal and Paul Skenes. Unfortunately, not facing each other, as I'll get into in a second with the matchups, but you'll see probably the 2 best pitchers in baseball in Skubal and Skenes. Tuesday's matchup, 6:40 p.m. That's today if you're watching on Tuesday. It'll be Bailey Falter with his 5-3 in record and 3.36 ERA going against right-hander Casey Mize. Mize is 6-2 with a 2.95 ERA. He's the number 2 starter for the Tigers. Mize he's struggled a little bit of late, but he continues to give the Tigers quality starts. He has the record, but in some ways he's a little bit like a Mitch Keller, where he gives up hits, he occasionally gives up walks, but he's really, really good at limiting damage. In his last 2 outings, he's completed just 10 innings total. One, he went 5 2/3. The other, he went 4.1. So he's been a lot worse than Mitch Keller of late. But In those 2 outings, he's given up 14 hits. He's given up 6 walks. And he's just allowed 2 runs in each of those starts. So he's very, very good at limiting damage, but he hasn't necessarily been as sharp as he usually is of late. Wednesday, 6:40. This is the most interesting matchup, in my opinion. Andrew Heaney, 3-5 with a 3.33 ERA against left-hander Tarik Skubal, 7.7-2 record, a 1.99 ERA. Skubal, as I said before, top 2 pitcher in baseball. Skubal, most impressively, he's really good at striking people out, and he just simply does not walk anyone. He has 111 strikeouts this year. That's the 3rd highest total in Major League Baseball. He's walked 9 batters, 9 over his 15 starts. Beyond impressive. And he's really efficient. He hasn't thrown 100 pitches in any of his outings this year, and that includes a complete game. On May 25th against the Cleveland Guardians, he had a 94-pitch Maddox. He gave up 0 runs, gave up 2 hits. He struck out 13. He has been dominant. And like Skenes in his last 4, Skubal has been pitching excellently of late. In his last 30 2/3 innings over 4 starts, he's given up 1 run and struck out 32. Can't give you too much on Thursday's pitching matchup because it's Paul Skenes against TBD. Not sure who's pitching yet, but as you know, Paul Skenes has been very, very good in his last 7 starts. He only completed 5 innings against the Cubs because they just fouled off a ton of pitches, but he has been very good of late and will look to continue that dominance at 1:10 p.m. getaway day on Thursday in Detroit. I've got 3 to watch and a bold prediction for the series, but first I want to go give you guys a word from our presenting sponsor, Greenewalt Roofing.
Hey, Pittsburgh. When you think of great roofs, you think Greenewalt Roofing Company. With over 20 years experience, Greenewalt knows your roof is your home's first line of defense from rain, wind, snow, and ice. That's why Greenewalt Roofing's standard for perfection is so important. You can trust that their team of experienced installers will treat your property like it's their own. When it comes to roof replacements, Greenewalt Roofing is Pittsburgh's only choice. Visit greenewaltroofing.com today or call 412-314-8882 to schedule your free estimate. PA contractor number 36262.
Thank you, Greenewalt Roofing. Now to our 3 to watch from the Detroit Tigers. They'll have some interesting names in here. These are some guys that have recognizable names to baseball fans, but aren't necessarily stars for the Tigers. They've got center fielder Javy Baez as their WAR leader this year, at least on the position player side. He's 32, 1.8 WAR, hitting 280 this year. Bit of a renaissance for him. 440 slugging percentage. Still doesn't walk very much. He can be convinced to chase a lot of pitches outside of the zone, but he does have 7 homers and 33 RBIs. They also have second baseman Gleyber Torres, 1.6 WAR, 276 average. He's got 7 homers and 34 RBIs this year. Both of those guys have been have found a little bit of a second wind in Detroit. And then finally, this is one of their Tigers of their own. First baseman Spencer Torkelson. He's a 1.4 WAR player. He's their home run leader with 16. He's got 47 RBIs. His batting average isn't great, only 233. But still a very successful player for them, as you may know, the number 1 pick in the 2020 MLB draft. However, the main thing with the Tigers is that it's not really 3 to watch. It's really just a very, very deep team. They have 6 position players with a WAR over 1 and 5 pitchers with a WAR over 1. And in both of those, they've got a couple other pitchers with like 0.8, 0.7 who are very close to that WAR mark, and 5 pitchers who are close to that 1 WAR mark. There are a couple of pitchers close to that 1 WAR mark as well. Bold prediction in this series, I think it's going to be a lot like the Cubs series. I don't think either team is going to score very, very many runs, even though the Tigers do have some good offensive stats. My bold prediction for this series is that neither team scores 10 runs total over 3 games. I think it'll be a lot of good pitching. I don't know whether this is who's going to win all 3 of the games, but I don't think there will be very much offense in the series. We'll have you covered. Noah Hiles is there in Detroit. We will keep you posted throughout this series and throughout the entire rest of the season.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.